The following program contains politically irreverent commentary. If you suffer from an exaggerated sense of self-importance, this show might not be right for you. Check with a PhD in PC, ASAP.
Standing for truth in the four corners of America. Fighting for justice on the frontiers of the culture wars. And turning resistance into an art form. The only TV host arrested more times than Mahatma Gandhi, Randall Terry.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your servant Randall, back in studio. What a program we have for you today. Ann Coulter, an exclusive speech given at an exclusive meeting on behalf of yours truly, an exclusive candidate. Yes. Today's program brought to you in part by the four remaining GOP candidates, because anybody is better than he whose name shall not be mentioned. And by he whose name shall not be mentioned. Word in the street is that Obama in ancient Aramaic means servant of darkness. I could be wrong, but it makes perfect sense to me. I'll be right back after a quick word from my good friend, Sir Reginald Bling.
Just turn the thing on. I got something to say. I've had a change of heart. Please, President Obama, help me. Help me, President Obama. My car broke down. I need some cash for my clunker. My house is in repossession. I need some cash for my mortgage. My children are sick. I need some money for the doctor. My grandmother is hungry. I need some money for her bread. And my children want to go to college, but they can't afford it. I need some money for their schooling. Please, President Obama, just let me live in the big house, and I'll be a good slave if you'll just take care of me. President Obama, will you take care of me?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. A lot I want to talk to you about today. We have a great portion of a speech from Ann Coulter. Quick news update, and then I have some big personal news. The Afghanis are burning Obama in effigy. Man, these people know how to protest. You know, I don't really usually agree with anyone who's burning an American president in effigy, but however, you found a soft spot on my heart. I feel conflicted. It's actually horrifying what that sergeant did. God only knows what was going on through his brain, but what he did was horrifying, and it actually is going to set America back quite a ways in our relationship with Afghanistan. And trust me, when we leave Afghanistan, which we will do, it will revert to a war-torn country, and we will leave it just like the Brits did, just like the Russians did. It is not settleable by Western powers outside of the power of the gospel. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. All right. I have big and sad news. At the end of this month, at the end of March, we will suspend this program on television. It is with grief that I tell you this. Our satellite carrier, Legacy TV, who has broadcast this program to the nation, literally, has said that because of my showing in Oklahoma as a presidential candidate, because of the primaries that we have ahead of us and stuff during the general election, due to FCC law, they feel that it is the safest for them and their affiliates that they suspend the program. They have told us, and I believe Jim West, that we will be back on the air at the beginning of December. I can't wait. I promise you, I can't wait. You will be able to see the show online due to our partners at teapartylive.tv. We will broadcast the show one way or another at our upcoming website, prolifewarrior.com. Remember that. I'm going to talk about that until the end of the month, prolifewarrior.com. Now, let's go to Ann Coulter, who I had the privilege of having with me recently in Oklahoma. You can know the value of somebody by the friends they keep, but more importantly for me, it's by the enemies that they keep. Find out if somebody has the right scars on their back from fighting, and if they have the right enemies in the culture wars. And I can tell you without equivocation, Ann Coulter has the right scars and the right enemies. I give you Ann Coulter.
introduction. Have you ever noticed all the people who are really pro-abortion have already been born? It's really great to be in Oklahoma. I think it's a fantastic place for Randall Terry to launch his presidency on the Democratic nomination, a state that has a Republican governor, 2 Republican senators, a massively majority Republican legislature. This is where the movement will start, Randall. So with Americans enraged over Obamacare, houses losing value by the minutes, unemployment rate through the roof, liberals are so happy they have tricked Republicans into talking about contraception. The problem with it here is that the HHS insurance mandate, it's not a religious issue, it's a freedom issue. This isn't what insurance is for. Insurance is to insure against unexpected catastrophes that can bankrupt a family. It's for, fires, accidents, dread diseases, sudden marriages to a Kardashian daughter. It's, ooh, didn't see that coming. If it can cover this, forget the fact that the next thing that's going to be mandated is the payment for abortions. Yes, of course, that's the most important issue for the Democratic Party, except for Democrat Randall Terry. They'll have, that you have to pay higher insurance premiums if you have a gun in the home, or if you're not recycling, because, recycling, it helps the environment, and clean air leads to clean health. This is a way for liberals to circumvent democracy by having this one lunatic at the head of the HHS, who happens to be a crazed doctrinaire feminist, just issuing mandates for the entire wish list of the ACLU. That is the issue. Forget whether contraception is moral or immoral. Redistribution of income is immoral, and that's what this is. But if you happen to have read the New York Times today, they are just turning cartwheels over this discussion of contraception, and their point, a false point, is that the social issues are bad for the Republican Party. Apparently, when the New York Times uses the word divisive, what they mean is wildly popular with voters. The social issues are only better for the Democrats than the fiscal issues, because the fiscal issues are Armageddon for the Democrats. I'm all for fiscal conservatism, but telling people we're going to cut spending is like telling them to eat their spinach. It's the social issues. That's the ice cream sundae and the creme brulee. Because unfortunately, as polls have indicated, Americans both want their taxes cut and they want spending to go down in the abstract, but they don't want any cuts to Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, so on and so forth, which is why you'll always see Republicans on TV being pressed, certainly on MSNBC. What precise programs are you going to cut? And you see Republicans trying to resist that answer, because everyone receiving money from that program will therefore vote against that Republican. But here's a quiz for you. What issue do Barack Obama, John McCain, Sarah Palin, Mitt Romney, Ann Coulter, and Randall Terry all agree on? We're all against gay marriage. That's, at least as of this morning. It could change with Obama at any moment. Now, it's a little harder to tell. That's been voted on in 38 states. I think it's up to 38 by now. Every single state that had the chance to vote on gay marriage rejected it, including loony left states like Oregon, Maine, California. It's a little harder to tell what people think of abortion, since the Supreme Court won't let us vote on it. But it's striking that the strongest defense liberals have for abortion is this precious constitutional right, allegedly, is that it should be safe, legal, and rare. What other constitutional right do its proponents want to make rare? How about the First Amendment? Let's have speech, but make it rare. We're all for free speech. Do gun advocates say, have a gun, but not too many? Although we're not allowed to vote on abortion, polls indicate that huge majorities oppose various things like partial birth abortion. Even Gallup says upward of 70% oppose partial birth abortion. Younger voters, interestingly, are even more anti-abortion than adults are, presumably because they're so close to being fetuses themselves. You can't get 70% of Americans to agree that the earth is round, but 70% oppose partial birth abortion. Immediately, you may remember this, immediately after President Bush proposed Sam Alito for the Supreme Court, NARAL thought they had the silver bullet that was going to kill his nomination. He had upheld a law, I think it was in New Jersey, requiring a wife to notify her husband before having an abortion. To notify her husband. And oh boy, the gals back at NARAL thought, wait till America hears about this. And then, of course, it turns out 70% of Americans support a husband being notified before his wife has an abortion. A huge majority, 63, 64%, support a woman having to have the consent of her husband before having an abortion. Ooh, NARAL ladies were shocked at that one.
There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover. That explains a lot about why they'll be white.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kylea Health and Energy. I've been making superb nutritional supplements for over 15 years, and from day one, I've partnered with Randall Terry, helping to fund his invaluable work in reclaiming our country's biblical and godly roots. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives since its inception.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 essential areas of nutrition your body needs on a daily basis. Each serving of the Total Living Drink provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, enzymes for better digestion and nutrient absorption, protein for building lean muscle mass so you can burn more fat for fuel, probiotics for better intestinal function, herbs for building energy and stamina, antioxidants for maximum immune function and disease prevention, and all the vitamins and minerals you need for slowing down aging and maximum health. You would have to take 30 to 40 capsules each day and spend almost $10 a day to match the over 30,000 milligrams of total nutrition in each scoop of the Total Living Drink. Order right now and get started on the amazing Total Living Drink. They come in 2 delicious flavors, Total Living Drink Greens and Total Living Drink Berry. And every single dollar we receive, we give a generous amount to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Visit us online at the address on your screen and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today, and for the daily price of a latte, you can get back on the road to better health and energy with Kylea's Total Living Drink.
Hello, Cleveland! Yeah! What? You can't turn the channel. You need to watch more Randall Terry. Yeah!
And now, more of Ann Coulter's speech at our tremendous rally.
I can't think of a single policy supported, promoted by President Obama that is supported by 63% of Americans, much less 70% of Americans. Say, how did the Republicans' privatization of Social Security go? That was about as popular as broccoli at a Chuck E. Cheese. But Democrats keep telling Republicans, stay away from the social issues. That's vote saltpeter. Don't do that. No, the social issues are where the majority supports conservative positions. Apparently, the Republicans elected in the 2010 Tea Party tsunami, and that was supposed to be, about fiscal issues. The Tea Party, we want to cut the spending of government. They didn't realize they weren't supposed to talk about the social issues, because a few months after the 2010 election, the Los Angeles Times reported in a panic that nearly 400 anti-abortion laws had been introduced in the state legislatures. That was more than twice as many as were passed in all of 2010. If anything, Republicans should sneak into office on the social issues and then cut spending in the dark of night. Recall that Reagan wasn't hurt for being pro-choice, not even in, again, loony left states like New York, Maine, California, all of which he won. So why did Democrats, who are usually pretty crafty, drop abortion as one of their issues? There used to be pro-life Democrats, now there's just Randall Terry. The answer is the Democratic Party is exclusively a party of yuppies, feminists, and trial lawyers now. If you're not one of those things, the Democratic Party is against you. If abortion is so wildly popular with Americans, why does their side have to be so deceptive in its language? You can't even, I mean, consider all of the many, many, many Victorian locutions the pro-abortion people go through. You can't call the baby a baby. It's a fetus. Though I've never heard a woman say, oh, come Johnny, listen to your baby brother fetus. I'm having a fetus, I just felt the fetus kick. I'm having a fetus shower. Abortionists are abortion providers. Sometimes they just drop abortion altogether. It's usually just healthcare provider. An MSNBC host, Keith Olbermann, used to refer to Dr. George Tiller, Tiller the baby killer, who Tiller was famous for performing a form of abortion so gruesome that only 2 other abortionists in the country would perform it. And Keith Olbermann referred to him as an OBGYN. I don't think even he called himself that. How many babies did he delivered 3% of babies, killed 97%. It's like calling Joseph Goebbels a social scientist. Goebbels. Liberals call abortion clinics reproductive health centers. One abortion clinic worker told the New York Times that she would like her clinic to be called a place of healing and care. Except for the baby. It's an execution chamber for the baby. Speaking of which, kill can also not be used in this one context, in the context of abortion. We talk about killing viruses, we kill crabgrass, we kill book proposals. But no, you never kill the fetus. It's a procedure, a choice, reproductive health procedure, termination. It's termination of pregnancy. What other precious constitutional right can't we talk about openly? Can't we call by its name? It would be as if NRA members refused to use the word gun. No, don't say that, it's a choice. Of course, the problem with euphemisms is people eventually find out what you're talking about. So now the pro-choicers have had to drop even choice and come up with a new deception.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kailea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
An appeaser is one who feeds the crocodile, hoping it will eat him last. Sir Winston Churchill.
More of the eloquent and witty Ann Coulter.
Historian Nancy Cohen wrote in the Los Angeles Times last year, the term pro-choice, she says, essentially cedes the moral high ground to the anti-abortion movement. Choice? Is there something inherently ugly about choice? There is, but only because people started to recognize, oh, when you say choice, you mean abortion. If they called abortion, they could start calling it warm cookies and puppies. And people would start to reel at the sinister implications of warm cookies and puppies. Historian Cohen suggested that they change pro-choice to pro-freedom. This from the people who want to take, let's see, 34% of our income, our plastic bags, our smoking sections, our guns, our creches, our salt. Yes, that's the pro-freedom crowd. Why can't they call themselves pro-abortion? I call myself anti-abortion. They always say, well, I'm not pro-abortion. In fact, many of them, I'm personally opposed to abortion. I just think a woman should have the choice. Well, if pro-choice isn't pro-abortion, then nobody was pro-slavery either. Because nobody said you had to have a slave. They just thought people should have the choice whether to have the slave or not. If you're against slavery, don't own one. Or my proposal for a bumper sticker, if you're against the killing of abortionists, then don't kill one. The New York Times unrelentingly insists on referring to partial birth abortion as a procedure its opponents refer to as, what do its proponents call it? Bacon and bean dip? It isn't the pro-life movement trying to make partial birth abortion sound gruesome. No, an accurate description of what's happening is a procedure in which a baby is delivered feet first from the mother's uterus until only the skull is inside, puncturing the skull and suctioning the brains out. Is that better, New York Times? That sound better? In other news, dozens of Americans have been killed in Afghanistan in a procedure its proponents refer to as post-birth abortion. What this crowd is pro-death. Pro-death, at least for a living baby, not for terrorists, killers, the Furbish Louse War, the Spotted Owl. Needless to say, if the media won't call abortion abortion, they won't ever show pictures of this constitutional right being exercised. What other constitutional right is hidden like this? We're prudes for objecting to nudity or sexual situations on primetime TV. You want to see censorship, try to show an aborted fetus on primetime TV. Or try to even show a happy fetus smiling in its mother's womb on primetime TV. And why aren't the places where this particular constitutional right is exercised named after its proponents? How about the Barack Obama abortion clinic? Teddy Kennedy abortion mill. This is a constitutional right that even its proponents don't want their names associated with. During the Supreme Court nomination hearings for now Justice John Roberts, Senator Dianne Feinstein said that at a college student, I knew a young woman who killed herself because she was pregnant, couldn't get an abortion. I know a guy who killed himself because of high taxes. So you all defer to me. Look, it really could only be a movement led by women. No, we're going to kill ourselves. We're going to hold our breath until we turn blue. The arguments for abortion are so silly, you can't believe anyone could make them with a straight face, which is why the pro-abortionists had to get the Supreme Court to do their dirty work for them. They didn't win by persuading their fellow Americans, getting laws passed. They won the right to abortion by getting the Supreme Court to issue a diktat, discovering in an invisible ink clause in the Constitution a right to abortion. Out of thin cloth in 1973, the Supreme Court astonished the nation by discovering in the penumbras of the emanations a right that no one had ever seen before, a right to abortion. We got to get these guys on the Supreme Court looking for alternative energy sources because they can find anything.
Both we and our fathers have sinned. We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kylea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
John Quincy Adams said, "From the day of the Declaration, they, the American people, were bound by the laws of God, which they all, and by the laws of the gospel, which they nearly all, acknowledge as the rules of their conduct." Here you have a sitting president saying that the United States citizens were committed to the gospel. That is what made this country great. And now we have a president at war with the gospel, and the country is dying. Hey, more with Ann Coulter tomorrow.